See, there's just this thing. And that thing is that people who are chosen and are of the divine, people like myself, we cannot get away with the same things that the people of the world who are like the world and don't mind being of the world can get away with. And my name is Dominica, Divine Elite, God's favorite light worker, the golden healer, the messenger, and your down-to-earth high priestess. So my fine divine collective, when I think of ways of the world, I think of bad things. They're not so good. I think of darknesses. I think of the troubles of the world, the hurt, the pain, the lies, the cheating, the malice, the agony that people serve and go through, pain and their disruptions in people's life, the killings, all that, the vanity of the world, the ways that people carry themselves and the intent and the ways that they think, like how the world is. And what is the world? The world is corrupted. The world is damaged. The world is really no good. So people like us, earth angels, chosen ones, those who God have placed on this earth to serve as higher powers and higher beings in the place such as the world, as being the light in the dark, we cannot get away with those people who are of this world. This is their world. Of course we can't. That does not mean that we are not protected more than the people of the world. We just can't get away with the same things. We can't get past our God. Our God is not going to allow us to be like those people that are beneath our God, those ways that are beneath what our God represents. So at the end of the day, we cannot get away with the same things and be like those same people, even if we tried. Man, I tell you, because if we even tried, the consequences and the dealings and the experiences is different from us than what it would be for those who are able to sustain and be able to undergo the ways of the world. For instance, one thing is like if we are forcing ourselves into an environment that does not fit us, that is not like us, it's detrimental to our spirits and who we are as beings of the light, and this is their territory, we stand out. We are outcasted. We might seem weird and definitely out of place. Like I said, we stand out. We're going to seem weird to those people who are involved in whatever is going on in that environment because they are not like us. And we are not going to be able to be comfortable in that environment because we are not like them. And because, yes, we too have to face karma for our bad decision makings and things that we put out there in the world that are not so good. And even though, yes, we make bad decisions and we put bad intent and, do things that are not so admirable and put it out there into the atmosphere of the universe, the world, at the end of the day, we are trying to adapt. We are trying to adjust of the world that we as a spirit are not used to. So yes, we tend to make bad decisions. We tend to go into the wrong directions and do bad things at times, but that does not make us of the world if it's not embedded in our hearts and in our minds, and if it's not our life and who we are. We are not them. We are not the same still. We are only trying to figure these things out. So we are just learning at the end of the day. And these experiences that we have with the world actually helps us as we are moving and transforming into exactly our position to represent exactly who we are in the world at the end of the day when it's all said and done. Our karma is still not the same because there's just a different level on how our karma is served and what is allowed to be placed on our life as far as the consequences, the punishments, the repercussions, and the karma that comes back around to us. We still are protected in a way that those of the world are not protected, okay? Yes, our karma too can be painful. It doesn't make us feel good, but it also teaches us. And a lot of times those of the world do not learn the lessons that they need to learn like we learn when we go through our karma, opposed to when they go through their karma. But that is because a lot of those of the world are consumed and wrapped up in their mind is already there. The world has their mind. The world already has them. Whereas to us divine ones, we are not of the world. So we are able to set aside and decipher and determine and have discernment and all those good things to be able to overcome and outdo those of the world in the world, their world. Another difference in our karma is that a lot of times our karma comes into the season that is not so greater than the other parts of our lives. Although most of us us light workers, the divine beings, the chosen, do not really have a great life here in the world on earth as it is, because we are not of this world. We don't enjoy this, this is not fun. This is actually hard. It's actually suffering, and it's actually torture for us. Like, this is not good, but we have a purpose here. So when we go through karma, it's a lot worse than what we have already endured in this world, but it all teaches us, and it's a part of our journey to build us up into the point to where we need to be in the position, in the time we need to be positioned to do the works that we have needed, that we were meant to do in this world. So it's like we go through it in the earlier parts of our life and the phases and being in this world for preparation and to be worked up to be in the position to where we need to be for our mission, in the position to where we need to be for our purpose, for the world. So yes, we go through much suffering, but it's a part of our life contracts here on the world. But we are supported for a greater purpose, because all things work together for those who are called according to God's greater purpose. And that includes all of the bad things. And although our fleshly and unconscious parts of us did not know better, the spirit that is inside of us that is called for the higher purpose in the mission knows better. So that is why we face consequences, because our spirit knows better. Although we may not know better as far as being here brand new on earth, we have to learn and have the consequence and be chastened so that our spirit can awaken to it. That is because this is only a spiritual experience, and we are inside a human form during this experience, which ultimately means that everything that is going on around us here, all the experiences, the movements, the energies that are going on, is stemming from the spirit realm. It all starts in the spirit and manifests in the physical. So those human beings of the flesh who are able to be of the world and who are able to operate like those of the world and the evil of the world that is going on in the dark ways and the malice and everything that comes with the ugly of the world, are likely being operated and controlled by spirits of darkness opposed to spirits of light, because those are ways that the spirit of darkness operate in. But your spirit cannot operate that way, my fine divine collective. Your spirit is more pure. Your spirit is more so of the opposite of those examples that I had given. And you are not of the dark, my fine divine collective. You are of the light. So therefore, when you were in those environments that you were not so comfortable in and that were not so welcoming to you, that is because you were or are in their territory, which is another example and explains why a lot of us chosen ones and people of the light are secluded, do not really involve and interact with the world at all. They usually just stay in hermit mode. But that's another story and message for another day. Being in those places that you did not belong, nothing good at that time could have came out of you being misplaced, especially if you were not listening to your intuition and your higher self when they were telling you to get up out of there. But anywhere you go, you plant a seed, regardless if it seems bad. So later on, something did come out of it, because like the alchemist that you are, the way that you can and will be able to always turn your pain into power. You turn seeds into flowers, trials into triumphs, tests into testimonies, and your mess is a message. You were created for a higher purpose, and your light has always been too bright for the environments and places that you had grown up in and been in. So those of the darkness and those who are on a lower vibrational energy frequency level than you are could not understand you and accept you until your purpose unfolds or have unfolded to be discovered or uncovered and evidently needed. You even planted seeds in your life when you didn't even know it, when you were looking crazy with the crazies. But then they didn't water you. They didn't want anything to do with you. They didn't want any parts of you. But now they see the importance of being connected to you. This is just for confirmational purposes only, because y'all be knowing.